Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new daily vlog or daily journey, or just an audio of my journaling. Um, so, I have talked, I'm not sure if I have talked about it, but I recently graduated, and from the title, as you can see, and I became officially an MD. And yes, and have kind of that superpower. And I came now to the conclusion that I actually don't really want to be an MD. Like, I can just not imagine being a full time MD. And I think I had a lot of difficulties, like, speaking this out for a while and saying, I don't actually want to be this. And it now took me several months to really conclude this. And I think what inspired me a bit was the podcast or the YouTube channel of this medical doctor from the UK named Ali Abdul or something like this. And listening to him, it really made me aware, like, actually, yes, this is something I don't really want to become. Like, I just cannot imagine myself going every day to the same hospital for a few years, even for a few years. And there the trouble starts. I think if I could imagine, yeah, no. Like, I was just rethinking my thought and I concluded, no, I really cannot imagine, like, doing this for a really long time, which kind of scares me because it makes me question, will I ever, like, have a job that I will be able to do for a significant amount of time, repetitively, etc., etc. And I think I survived medical school because medical school is also really repetitive, but you have kind of that freedom of making your own schedule, especially at my university. Like, the first 2 years were pretty defined, but the first 2 years are also really exciting. Like, you're learning so much, and then at one point it's really starting to get repetitive because you're learning about the same organ again, just with more information. And I think I started to survive this because I figured out for myself, like, yeah, I really don't want to just be a student. So I was part of several associations, board member of several associations, just for the sake of bringing some diversity in this whole curriculum and also learning different stuff. But I was not really conscious that I'm getting bored. I just thought, oh, this is what I should do. And yeah, so I did this for a while. But I had, like, in the fourth year then of med school, I had really a moment where I was like, I hate what I'm doing. This can't continue like this. Like, I was just starting to become a lazy student. And also, besides becoming a lazy student, I was starting also to be unpunctual, just doing tasks to the bare minimum and all these things. And I think this was really a moment where I should have realized that, hey, something in the way I'm doing this medical school is not going the right path, right? But I haven't. And I realized this now after I finished it, when, you aim for a goal for so long and then you're at the end and you get your diploma and all these things. But there was, like, some kind of unsatisfaction in me. Like, I was like, man, was it this now? Like, this was 6 years of my life. It took me a lot to go into med school. Like, I sacrificed a lot. I had to be consistent and permanently studying to get into this school, because I think getting into med school is not about it's really about hard working. I believe this, even though some people might be like, no, you're skilled or not. But in my opinion, it was, at least here where I live, it's about hard working. In my opinion, and I can also explain this if there ever would be, like, request on this. But yeah, So I had this, like, I was just relieved when the exams were over. Then I had a month of like doubting, oh, did I now pass or not, or what's gonna happen. And yeah, I have to say, at the end it was just basically a relief. It wasn't really a happy moment or something like this. And I try to tell me like, not everyone gets an MD degree and I should appreciate it, but then I also started reading because I really hate reading, so I thought maybe reading might change something. So I started reading the book Atomic Habits, and I realized, yeah, so there is something that was totally off in my journey of med school, and this is, and I would agree on this. It's not just something I say because I think the book really inspired me to say this or anything, but I did not fully enjoy the journey. Like, there were parts of it I enjoyed, but I have to say there were plenty of parts that I just tried to pass through kinda with effort and really could not enjoy. And especially, like, I would say the last final 1 or 2 year, it was just like pushing through without any enjoyment, without nothing, just like, yeah. So, and realizing this a bit too late came with the bitter reality of I maybe should have enjoyed the way better, and I maybe should have focused on the positives of med school, the freedom that I had that I'm not going to have anymore after graduating. So let's cross the street, moment of break. So keeping on, and I think that's the reason why I felt this like just pure unsatisfaction when I accomplished the goal, because there was, for me, yeah, I have the title, but I'm fully unhappy with, and I don't mean like the stupid concept of happiness, being like happy, like having the feeling you accomplished something that gives a value. And I feel like it gave me personally a value, but I have consumed so much of society during these years, and now I don't feel like really giving back any value in a sense as a medical doctor. It's really something frustrating. And I remember, like, during med school when I said like to some of my peers, like, yeah, I think, you know, I want to become an MD, but I actually want to do science. And I sometimes got like really harsh critiques saying, oh, but you're keeping a spot away from someone else who could be an actual MD. So I know that there is this perception of, if you study, you should work on it. Oh, there's a sweet little cat. I don't know if you guys can see it. Usually there are also cows, but now in winter they're not here. Yeah. So now I'm really concluding, like, I cannot imagine doing a residency for the next 4-5 years, honestly, working and typing, and it's so much bureaucracy. I think that's the one part, and also the part that I think Ali talks in his several videos about this a lot, like, you cannot properly satisfy the patient because you have so much pressure. And I said this coming from a country that is rather privileged, and we don't have a system like the NHS here, but a totally different one. But still, like, there's also here a lack of doctors compared to the bureaucratical and also patient care you need to provide. And I think that's also what maybe might scare people away. And one thing I remember, like, from my internships at the hospital is, like, you go, and these were internships. As an intern, you don't have like full responsibility. You usually get quite a lot of time to perform a specific task, if it's like examining the patient or whatever, and you can allow yourself like silly mistakes when you're reporting something, because people know that this is a learning phase for you. But then you jump into this other world where suddenly you are surrounded by people who have expectations and you not making mistakes, all these things. Even though most of the time, and depending on the team you are, they're really tolerant. They also know that you're just a young, fresh doctor. You started, but what I want to say, my conclusion, I like to talk about things, and then it takes me some time to come to the conclusion is that yeah, I felt sometimes really exhausted from the day. Like you start at 7 a.m. at the hospital, not at home. So you wake up at 5 or 6 a.m., go there, come back. Your day might end at 5, but still might take you an hour or something to come home, 6. And if you're going to wake up 5 or 6 a.m., you're not going to stay up until 12 in the night. Well, you can this, but you cannot do this for a really long time. And I used to believe like you can get used to it, to be sleep deprived, and I believed in this concept, but now I don't believe anymore in it. Maybe I'm a few years older or just a bit wiser and realize that the days when I was sleep deprived, it was not a fun thing. So talk to you another time. Well, I'm just gonna make a quick break and then continue my journey.